Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist series. It's Friday, which means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I've been playing during this past week, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on these games, whether I think you guys should play them or not. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the games I share with you. I'd also like to hear about the games you guys are playing, as that gives me great ideas and new games to check out. So please keep telling me about the games you guys play, as you guys have piqued my interest in quite a few titles. And if you have any suggestions on games you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys always do suggest some really fun titles, and I have played a few of these games based on your guys' suggestions, so keep those coming as well. I've got two games to share with you guys this week for Xbox One. Again, this was another one of those weeks where I didn't get a whole lot of time to do gaming, as I was just really busy with work and getting other things done. I just did not have a whole lot of time for gaming, which seems to be kind of the damn trend lately with me, is always being busy, but that's a goal I want to do, is to have more time to play games this year. So it's a goal I'm going to work on. But we'll get started here with the two games. First one here, continuing my work on from last week, and that is Shadows Awakening, which this is an awesome isometric action RPG. So that's where you have the top-down view action RPG, which is really cool. What I really like about this title is it's unique from other action RPGs, because you actually have two different worlds you play in. You have the mortal world, but then you also have like the spirit world. And the main character is called a Devourer. He's a demon, and he actually consumes the souls of the characters you play as, which are called puppets. You can have up to 3 of those characters with the demon character at one time. So you actually can play as 4 different characters at the same time, which is sweet. And you just swap them by simple pressing the RB button. And you have different classes too, which is what I really like. So you've got your warrior characters, you've got your archer and stealth type characters, and then you have your mages, which are my favorite. And what I like, those, you can have a variety of different characters with you in your party, so they don't always have just one type, because there's different enemies, and so different enemies have different tactics. So it's nice to be able to switch to different kinds of characters, which is cool. And as you progress through the story, you actually unlock new characters. Now there are some points where you have a path you can diverge between. You can get one character or you get the other. You can't actually get both in the same playthrough. So there are sometimes you get characters that you can only have one time, and you can't have the other. So you'd have to actually do another playthrough to get the other character. And if you don't look up a guide, which I do recommend getting a guide for this, because you can miss stuff and secret things and stuff in the game, because this does not have a strategy guide, unfortunately. Which I do love my strategy guide, so it would have been nice to have. So it's definitely recommend playing this with a guide, so that you don't miss out on any of the characters, because there are some characters, if you don't do everything like explore like I do, you actually can miss out on some of the bonus characters. Now what's just really cool is I actually bought 3 DLCs for this, and they're all on sale for $2 each. And 2 of them were story DLC, which then after you beat it unlocks a new playable character, which is great. And I beat the first one. The second one takes much later in the game, which I have not got that far into. I'm on I think chapter 3 now. I'm not sure how many chapters there are, but I know that other DLC comes later, and so it's really cool. So like I said, as you play through the game, you unlock new characters to play through. At the beginning of the game, you get to pick from 1 to 3 characters, and then once you pick one of those main characters, the other 2 are no longer available to you. But it's just really interesting having that dual world where you can go through the main world and the human world, but then you can switch when you're the Devourer and go through the demon world, and there's actually demons and stuff that you can't see in the mortal world, and you can see in the spirit world that he can attack. But what's really cool too is you can use the Devourer. He can actually freeze enemies in the mortal world, and then he can switch back to one of the mortal characters in the mortal world, and the enemy will be frozen for it. You can actually combine attacks between your different characters. Like you could have your mage character, and you could have her summon a golem and do an attack, and then you can switch to another character, and you can actually combine attacks like that and use useful tactics, especially against some of the bosses. As you get further through the story, some of the bosses do get a lot more difficult. And what's really cool is there's actually a couple of bosses, when you beat them, you actually get to take control of them as a playable character, which is really sweet. And so the game has a variety of enemies to fight. You got your skeletons, you got spiders, you've got werewolves, you've got demons, you've got sorcerers, and you've got like lizard people. You got humans to fight. Like, it's just awesome. There's just such a wide variety of characters to fight, and also a wide variety of characters to play as. So they're not all just human characters, which is really cool. And they all have their own powers and stuff, which is great. You do have a really robust loot system where you have all kinds of different weapons to choose from for your characters, and they are class specific, of course. But as you find stuff, you have different characters you can use, and they all do level up. And then what's great is you can independently level up each character, whether you want to put points in strength or whatever attributes you want to do, and you can customize them to your own playstyle, which is really cool. Which I'm a big fan of mages, so I like to play with the mage a lot. But then I also do have my warrior characters, and I will swap out between the different characters depending on the situation. And as I've been playing through the story, it's been getting a lot harder, and so if your characters do die, you have to wait to go back to this little area where you can, in the demon world, where you can actually heal characters, and then you also can change your party in there. But I try not to let any of them die. I swap away from them if they do get low health, because some of the characters are good at range, but if they get real close in melee, they do not have very good endurance, and they don't have very good defense, so some characters can die real quickly, so you have to really keep them at a distance from some of the enemies, especially as you get further into the story. But I've been having a lot of fun playing through this, and I'm really glad that they have released some DLC. Highly recommend you guys check it out. There's also puzzles and stuff to solve in this game, which is really cool. The music is phenomenal, too. Like, I have a great soundtrack in this that has the mood. It's like really eerie. There's real eerie music. If there's real intense battle, you got intense music. There's sad stuff. There's like sad music, just really done very well. And also the voice acting too is just superb. It's just top of the line voice acting, which is something I really love. Highly recommend you guys check out this game. Now, this is actually a sequel because there was a game called Shadows Heretic Kingdoms on the PC. It was a PC only. And I did not know that this was actually a sequel to that game. So, really cool game. Like I said, it's just so unique having that dual worlds you play at the same time. You have a demon world and then you have a mortal world, which is just really cool, and they interact with each other. So that's something that's really interesting, and I've not seen in other action RPGs. So definitely recommend you guys check out Shadows Awakening, an awesome game for Xbox One. It's on PC, and I also believe it's on PS4. Definitely should check that out. And next up, we have an exclusive to the Xbox One, and I think it's also on PC, and that is State of Decay 2, which I love this game. My brother actually first introduced me when it was a digital-only game on Xbox 360 and said, hey man, you gotta play this zombie open world game. It's really fun. And I really love the first one, and so when they said that, number 2 was coming out, I knew I had to get it. I got the Ultimate Edition. This is actually a pre-order bonus steelbook that I've got, which is cool. What I really like about the State of Decay 2 as they have continued to support this game since launch with free post-launch content where they just keep just updating the game. Now they have this one called the Juggernaut Edition, and it's just free. It doesn't matter what version of State of Decay 2 you buy, the Ultimate Edition like I got or the regular State of Decay 2, you get the free upgrade and get all this extra content where they add new zombies, they add new modes to play, new difficulties with crazy high nightmare difficulties, which make it super difficult. And what's different from the first State of Decay and State of Decay 2 is you actually have these ones that are called zombies are infected by what's called a blood plague. And they're like super zombies that have like red eyes. And there's actually these plague hearts throughout the town you actually have to destroy because they're the ones creating the plague zombies. So you have your regular zombies, but then you have the plague zombies. And then what they added too with some of these new content packs that they've added to it is they've actually made some of like the boss zombie characters. You had ones like feral zombies, which are stronger ones that run around. You have bloater guys, which if you shoot them, they explode gas, and it can make your character cough and lose health and get sick. And then they have ones that are screamers. They scream and it attracts more zombies. Well, now they have blood plague versions of all those characters in these nightmare difficulty settings. So me, I just I've been playing on the easy and the normal, just to have fun with the game. I don't get into the intense craziness. I watched some videos of it, just absolutely crazy. The difficulty you can set on for people who've played it like all the time. Another big change from the first State of Decay to the second one is all cars actually have a gas meter, and you can actually run out of gas, and so you do have to find gas as you scavenge the world so you can actually keep driving. So that was something that added to the realism, which is really cool. You have a variety of maps, as they've actually added some new maps, and the whole basic idea of the game is you start out with a couple survivors. You make your way to a map, which is a little town that's broken up, and you have different little areas to go to, and you have to create different, what they call settlements, and some are bigger than others. Some you have to have so many characters, because as you play through the game, you'll unlock new characters that will join you in your quest for survival, and you'll recruit new survivors to your thing, and they'll bring their own stats and their own stuff to you and help you find resources and stuff. But you'll also encounter enemy um, NPCs too that you have to fight sometimes, and if you don't help them, might turn against you, that kind of thing. And you can get ally NPCs that you might help out throughout the story by doing different missions for them, and then they'll help you out with supplies and stuff. And sometimes you can get them to join you in your faction, which is really cool. And then you also have different backstories for your characters. They have different little teams you have to pick at the beginning. They're like a brother and sister combination, or a boyfriend and girlfriend, that kind of thing. And have a little bit of backstory to the character. And then they have different kind of traits, or like a warlord, the different leader type abilities, because you actually get to select one of your characters as the leader of the group. Another thing that's really interesting about this game too is it actually has permadeath. So if your character does die, they're dead forever. And what's really cool though is once you beat one of the maps in the game, then those characters becomes a legacy community, and then you can actually import some of those characters into another playthrough, because it's meant for you to play it more than just once, and obviously to play in the higher difficulty to make it more difficult. Which I really like too is you get to explore the different maps, and you get to scavenge for supplies, so you can build stuff at your base. Like, you gotta find food to feed everybody, but you also gotta find fuel, you gotta find ammo so everybody has ammo, you find guns, you gotta find building materials so you can build stuff, because you can actually build different workshops and stuff where you can train. Like, you can build a dojo and you can train all your characters for hand-to-hand combat. You can build a gun range so you can train your people to be better with guns. And what I really like is, it's kind of like how Fallout and Skyrim did this, that when you do an action, your character gets better from it. So as you use a gun and kill zombies, your character gets better using that gun. So if you use a melee weapon, like a blunt weapon, boards and stuff, or swords, your character gets more efficient with them. And you have to watch out because the weapons do degrade over time and can break. But if you have a workshop at home, you can actually repair them too. So that's really awesome. You have little outposts and guard tower thingies that you can actually climb, like water towers. And you can actually scope out the area, and you use binoculars, and you can actually click on them, and it brings it up on your map of new areas to check out. You can also see zombie hordes, which are where the groups of them get together over time, and they roam around, and if you can destroy them, it'll help bring down zombies. There's also infestations, they're called, where a whole bunch of zombies have infiltrated a house, or a building, or a restaurant, or whatever it is, and it makes more zombies around their spawn. And then, of course, you also have what I said were the plague hearts, which is actually a giant heart that is protected by plague zombies, and actually the main objective is to actually destroy those. And as you destroy them, the other plague hearts get harder and harder to destroy, and once you destroy all 10, then you get to like an end game part of the map. And the game can play as long as you want. You can rush through it really quickly, or you can take your time like I do and explore and get characters and stuff, and just it's just really fun running around killing the zombies and just discovering little secrets and stuff in the game. Highly recommend you guys check out the State of Decay series. They have mentioned and did show a trailer for State of Decay 3, so I'm looking forward to whenever that comes out. Could be an exclusive to the Xbox Series X only. I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Highly recommend you guys check out State of Decay 2 if you have not yet. Highly recommend you guys check it out. They've done so much more improvements to it since it launched. They've added so much free content. They've added new characters. They've added new weapons, new vehicles, new enemies to fight, new maps, new modes, new difficulty settings. Like, they just keep enhancing the game, and they keep listening to the community for what people want, and they're very hands-on with the community and stuff, and getting people what they want. They listen to people complaining, hey, I didn't like this. They fix some balancing issues. They fix glitches and stuff when it first launched. So they're a development team that listens to their fans and are keep tailoring a game. They didn't have to. They could just say release the game and said hell with it, but they've been dedicated to supporting this game for several years now, so it's really awesome. Definitely recommend you guys check out State of Decay 2. We'll do a quick little recap. I talked about Shadows Awakening, an amazing top-down isometric action RPG that's unlike other ones I've played before, because you actually have two worlds you play in. You have the spirit world where you play as a devourer, and then you have the mortal world, which are the human characters and other characters you play as in the mortal world. And what's unique is the Devourer actually consumes the souls of those characters you play as, and then they're bound to him, which is unique and interesting. Great music, great characters, a lot of main story to go through. We have a lot of side missions to do, a lot of loot to find. Just a really fun action RPG I think you guys should check out. And then we also talked about State of Decay 2, which this is an awesome zombie third-person action-adventure game where you get to play as different survivors fighting in the world of zombies and trying to survive a zombie plague, and you get to scavenge for supplies and get to build bases and do missions and recruit allies and have NPCs to fight besides zombies and trying to, just basically survive. So it's just a really fun game. I definitely think you guys should check out. So let me know your guys' thoughts if you guys played Shadows Awakening or State of Decay 2. I'd also like to hear about the games you guys have been playing lately. And if you have a suggestion on a game you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys always do suggest really fun titles. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see ya next time.